Hello YouTube, welcome back to Nutkin Farm. What a lovely sight. It's very late afternoon and looking down a nice row of macadamia trees with grass just freshly mown down the row, and it all looks very wholesome and freshly washed after lots of early summer rain. But there's a catch. It's not my farm, it's my neighbour's farm. I'm actually looking over the fence jealously at the moment, right now, because my neighbour has just done the job that I am about to do, and I thought I would offer you a free laugh at me and show you what it is I have to do. Welcome to Nutkin Farm. Look at this. The grass, the seed heads of this Soteria grass are up around 4 or 5 feet. And this is just grown in the 3.5 odd weeks since I was last here. The reason I didn't come up partly was work-related reasons, and partly because it was raining so steadily every single day that you couldn't get machinery out and cut grass, and you just had to basically sit there and watch it grow until it finally dried up enough to start the job of cutting it down. And yeah, look, I can give you some indication of how tall it is. I'm looking down at my legs there. It's certainly a fair bit of grass to get into. A lot of it is Soteria, which is this cattle grass that, you know, is designed to grow quickly and provide high volume, low grade cattle feed. And it's not what you want on a macadamia farm. And if you let it get out of control, obviously it becomes quite tall. So it brings to light an appropriate subject, which is how do you manage a macadamia farm like this in wet weather? One problem that you will have if you have a sloping macadamia farm like I do is that the steeper slopes just become no-go zones. You'll go for a slide on mud. Red soil's very crumbly, but when it gets wet enough, it does turn into almost like slippery clay in terms of its texture. And while it's important to get grass mown, it's kind of important also not to break your neck. And so you have to, wait until it is actually safe. And on a sloping farm, you wait longer than you do on a flat farm. There's a bit of a balancing act in that a flat farm, water can sit on the surface for a longer time because it has nowhere to go. But this is, in about 3 weeks, this is sort of an indication of how fertile this land is. This is how much the grass has grown. And in fact, here's the tree called Garth that was in my last video, if you watched that. The tree itself is beautifully, beautifully happy. It's just that the grass has grown up all around it. And with these baby trees, you've actually got to get the grass down because competition for light and nutrients can quickly swamp a young tree. Obviously, other babies like this one in front of you is gone past that stage now. But yeah, look at this. The only remedy for something like this is basically to give it a mow with the mower on a fairly high setting. My Kubota I can set to a 4-inch cut. Even then, though, your mower isn't always cutting the grass but running over it and flattening it, and so you sort of have to have 2 rounds of it. You can do 1 round, wait a week, and then do another round, and then gradually sort of get it under control again, assuming the weather lets you do that. You want to get it down regularly before harvest. So this time of the year, which is December, you want to start it. You want to make sure that, if you haven't mowed, that you get the grass down and that you keep it down so that the long grass you cut decays, turns into organic matter. You don't want long pieces of grass around the place when you start harvesting, because if you do that, the long pieces of grass will just get in your harvester and gunk it all up royally. Speaking of something to harvest, well, what have we got? I've been through some of Block 1 here, and I must say I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. We've got nuts that are almost full size. They tell you that the nut sizing stops on Christmas, so that the shell hardens at that point and the nut can't get any bigger. But I'm seeing a lot of big, healthy green nuts. up in the tree there, and that's a pattern that's repeating itself on just about every adult tree I have in this block. Really can't see what's going on in the older blocks, but there's been some recent storm damage in other orchards, and my agronomist said for the 344s, which is a problem variety of tree, they do seem to be having a good year, but the crop is all up the top of those old trees. Rosebank suffered a bit of storm damage, and but not as much as some neighbouring areas like Federal and Eureka again. So it's almost like we're due to get hit here at Rosebank, because we've dodged every major bullet in the last 2 years. We're not entirely free of damage. There's a branch that's come down here off this tree, quite a large limb, and it would be holding a bit of crop, because the rest of the tree is definitely holding a lot of crop. But you'd sort of treat it as nature's pruning. Unfortunately, these nuts won't really be viable, the ones that are on the tree here. But the branch itself will have to get rid of that and drag it away off to a burn pile for later use. But yeah, look, I thought before I started the actual mowing task, I'd show you what it is. I don't joke when I say that mowing is the biggest job you do on a macadamia farm, and it's a job that's ahead of me. You want to start, and I certainly will be starting with the more gentle slopes. I've got plenty of them that need a mow, and hopefully the weather will keep rain free for the next few days and allow me to try some of the steeper areas where you can go for a little bit of a slide if you're even if you're being careful. So there's my update, guys. Look, the positives of it is that there's a decent crop, at least on these trees. There's a very good crop, better than I've ever seen. But the work is there to do. I'm going to do it. I should be able to, before I finish this visit, get back to you and give you a little bit of an update, a bit of a after shot. But there are other people I would like to speak to, possibly in our episode or two of the Macadamia show, and that's going to be quite exciting if I can pull that off. So stay tuned. We'll look out for another couple of updates shortly. If you hit the bell icon and subscribe, you'll be able to know when they come out. But of course, you don't have to do any of that. I will come back to the tree called Garth, which you can just see poking its head out of the grass. Should add that Garth's been missing in action a little bit, and we're trying to track him down. I hope he's okay. Garth, if you're watching this, please get in touch, because a lot of the people who look at my channel look at your channel as well, and I think I can speak for all of us and say, mate, we miss you. Anyway, talk to you again soon. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are and whatever it is you're doing. Bye for now.